Hello students, now I am explaining you types of transpiration. There are three types of transpiration. Now as you all know, transpiration means loss of water from the aerial parts of the plants. Now transpiration is of three types. Number one, stomatal transpiration. Second is cuticular transpiration and lenticular transpiration. What are these three? Stomatal transpiration means transpiration through stomata, and stomata are mainly present on the surface of leaves. So if transpiration is taking place through stomata in the leaves, this is known as stomatal transpiration. Cuticular transpiration, what is cuticle? As you can see in this diagram, this is upper epidermis and it is a lower epidermis. You all should know that leaf has two surfaces, upper surface as well as lower surface. So upper surface is made up of upper epidermis and lower surface is called lower epidermis. On the upper surface you can see there is a layer outside this epidermis. This layer is known as a cuticle. So cuticle is outer layer of epidermis, and if transpiration is taking place through this cuticle, it is known as cuticular transpiration. Although very little transpiration takes place by cuticle and lenticels. Lenticels are small openings, minute openings only on old stems. In old stems there are minute openings and these openings are called lenticels, and these lenticels, if they lose water by transpiration, then this is known as lenticular transpiration. Remember, lenticels, they remain open all the time. Stomata, they remain open during daytime so that carbon dioxide can be absorbed through them for the process of photosynthesis. And stomata, generally they will close at night when there is no photosynthesis. So these are three types of transpiration. Most of the transpiration takes place through stomata and very little transpiration it takes place through cuticle and lenticels. Now we'll see the detailed structure of stoma. Stoma is singular. Stomata means many minute pores. What are stomata? Stomata are minute pores present on the surface of the leaves. They are present on the upper surface as well as lower surface. But most stomata are present on the lower surface. Now, if we see the structure of one stoma, single stoma, each stoma, this is stoma. Stoma means the aperture, the pore through which gaseous exchange will take place as well as through which transpiration will take place. So, single stoma is surrounded by two guard cells. These are two guard cells. These guard cells, this is one guard cell and this is another guard cell, and in between this is stoma. These two guard cells are bean shaped. Since they are cells, they have the organelles, like they have a nucleus. This is the nucleus. They also have chloroplast. These all are, many chloroplasts are present. These guard cells also have cell wall. Outer cell wall is thin as compared to inner cell wall is thick. Then these stomata or stoma are surrounded by epidermal cells. So these all are epidermal cells. So two guard cells. Each stoma is surrounded by two guard cells. These guard cells, they have outer thin cell wall and inner thick cell wall. They also have number of chloroplasts and nucleus in them. Now, these stomata, they remain, as I told you, they remain open during the daytime so that during photosynthesis carbon dioxide can be absorbed and oxygen will be released through the same stoma. At night these stomata will remain closed. Now, how these stomata, they help in evaporation of water. That means how do they help in the process of transpiration? Now we'll have to see. For this, we should know the detailed structure of internal structure of a leaf. This is internal structure of a leaf. A leaf is covered by upper epidermis and lower epidermis. Lower epidermis has more stomata or stoma. One stoma has been shown here. Upper epidermis, in between upper epidermis and lower epidermis, there are two types of cells present. Now, what are these two types of cells present? This is, I have not labeled these all parts. So, first, these are the palisade cell. These are called palisade cells, and below them they are spongy cells. Spongy cells. So, two cells are present in between upper epidermis and lower epidermis. These are called palisade cells and spongy cells. Both together are called mesophyll cells. This you have already learnt in class 9. Mesophyll. Mesophyll because they are present in between upper and lower epidermis and are known as mesophyll layer of cells, mesophyll tissue or mesophyll cells. These mesophyll cells are made up of palisade cell and spongy cell. Now palisade cells, these you can see these structures, round structures which have been drawn, these are chloroplast. So they have a number of chloroplasts, and even spongy cells they have chloroplast. In between these cells you can see intercellular space. This whole is intercellular space. In between these cells, intercellular space is present, and this more intercellular space present is known as substomatal space. What is substomatal space? Large space which is near stoma, which is near to the surface, you can say. This is known as substomatal space. On this side you can see this is a xylem vessel shown here. Now you all know how the roots they absorb water. When the roots they absorb water, this water is conducted upside in upward direction by the xylem vessel. These xylem vessels are present in the leaves. This is internal structure of leaf. The xylem vessel is present in the leaves. So this xylem vessel will bring water from the lower cells. Xylem vessel will contain a lot of water. So these cells are turgid. Now these xylem vessels, they will give out water by osmosis as well as imbibition. Now you all have learnt about imbibition. When the cell walls they absorb water by surface attraction. So this water will be taken up by the palisade cells as well as by the spongy cells. Now when these palisade and spongy cells, when they are full of water, when there is a lot of water, then some water is evaporated from there. And when this water is evaporated, then this water starts collecting in the intercellular spaces. So this water vapor will collect in intercellular spaces as it has been indicated by the arrows also. So this water will be collected here in between the cells, that is intercellular space. This water vapor, when it is saturated, when there is a lot of water vapor in between intercellular spaces, then this water will be carried to substomatal space by diffusion. Now you all know diffusion. Diffusion is movement of molecules from a region of high concentration to a region of low concentration. So when there will be saturation of this water vapor will move into the substomatal space, and from that substomatal space it will move out by evaporation or by the process of diffusion. It will move out through stoma. So first the water will be taken in the xylem vessel. From xylem vessel it will be taken by osmosis as well as by imbibition. It will be taken into the palisade cell as well as into the spongy cell. When the water will evaporate from these cells, then this water vapor will start collecting in the intercellular space. From intercellular space, on saturation, it will collect in substomatal space, and from there it will move out by the process of diffusion. It will move out through stoma. So this is how transpiration occurs through stoma. That means stomatal transpiration. So this was about stomatal transpiration in detail. Very little transpiration takes place through cuticle. If the cuticle is very thick, then this will be reducing the process of transpiration. That means it will reduce the loss of water through the leaves. So if thick cuticle is there, very little transpiration will take place, and through lenticels also very little transpiration occurs. In fact, 10% of the total transpiration occurs through stomata as well as lenticels. Lenticels, they will be transpirating less than 10%, and most of the water will be transpirated through stomata. Thank you.